Yo, what is up guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. And today I'm joined here by Lena Kostia. How are you doing, ma'am?
Hello, hello. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you
Mhm,
so much for for asking for the interview.
mhm.
I'm really happy with it, so I'm okay. Um, Having my exams, lost Ukrainian exams soon, and a little bit worried about them because I'm not preparing.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but okay.
I wish you all the best
So,
on your exams. I know you're pretty smart, so you will be able to pass them.
thank you so much. Thank you. I hope I will.
So,
And how
I would
you?
have to actually just start off with saying, how did you ever get into League of Legends though? Were you always into like playing video games as a kid, actually?
Yep, honestly, yep. I've spent pretty 50% of my childhood sitting near the computer as I got it. As my father got the computer, I was sitting there playing some games because I found it interesting and I was watching some educative videos, I guess, there and playing games. Also educative, I guess. And then I started playing League and it all started from Dota, I think.
Okay, you came from
Dota.
Dota. Okay.
Yeah, because in Ukraine, Russia, Dota was and still is more popular, unfortunately, I guess. But it's the personal thing. And I've tried League of Legends in 2014, I guess, for the first time, and told myself like, oh no, I will continue playing Dota. None of my friends are playing League. It's still Sedge. Okay, and in 2018, I went back
Mhm.
wasn't really playing a lot. I started playing like tryharding only I guess 7 months ago, but I was still watching some Worlds Championship of League. I didn't know anyone of the players. They were like the names for me. Some Perks, who is this? Some Yankos. So like this. And now I got into the I got interested in the pro scene,
Mhm.
started watching some GT videos, just downloaded Twitter because nobody in Ukraine uses Twitter, and I just month ago downloaded it, and okay, it all started like this.
Okay, so you really got into League around, you would say, the 2019 period, actually?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. And that's when G2 had their super team of Yankos, Wonder, Caps, and Mickey X, and obviously, Perks in the bot lane. So,
Yes,
but,
yes.
but before that, you were like, they had a team of like Wadid and Yarnin, and that's when they had that bot lane.
Uh-huh. Yep, yep.
All right. So you watched the World Games where Yarnin would play Heimerdinger, and that's the only reason why they were winning some like some of those key games.
Oh yeah. But actually, I think I already started watching, like, truly getting into it when there was Perks on the bot lane, Perks McGeek's bot lane,
Mhm,
and it was interesting because they were like you representatives,
mhm.
and I became interested in it, so it came out like this.
And then, like, I remember during, because that was the first split where they took away EULCS and they rebranded it to the LEC. And that was the LEC 2019 spring split. Remember, they played that game against Fnatic and G2 just destroyed them?
Oh, oh, yeah.
Like, Reckless picks Jinx and Illustrating picks Thresh, and they just auto lose a 2v2 in 20 minutes. And then later
Right.
on that split, I think, yeah, because G2, I'm pretty sure 2-0'd Fnatic in that split. And then no, they didn't, because that's when they had that really crazy back and forth game. That's when Caps picked Zed, and then that's when they had that crazy back door when the inhibitor was just about to respawn when they were in the base and G2 was actually in their base. That was a interesting split because during that split, like, people need to remember, like, G2 were just so strong. Like, what's really crazy is there was another super team too. You had Origin's super team with like Nuke Duck and Patrick and Mithy and Alfari and Xerxes. So when G2 won that split and went to MSI, did you watch MSI in 2019 when they won it, actually?
I'm not sure about it. I watched some games, but not all of them.
Oh, you're no
Unfortunately, every
fun.
game. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. I think it was like 2 years ago, and 2 years ago I had my first Ukrainian last exams. So it's really
Hmm.
strange. We have every 2 years, almost every 2 years,
Hmm.
like very important exams, and they are in May.
Hmm.
So I've been watching them in 2019. Yes.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. No,
So
I wasn't watching. Yes. Was
did you watch a lot of their games in 2020 actually for
um
G2?
not all of them, but
Hmm.
a great amount of them. I don't remember all. I tried to watch as many games as I could,
Hmm.
but like still cheering for them while watching
Did you watch what was it? Worlds of that year too?
Worlds of 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. I grabbed all my friends and we seated here in Discord screaming. I was screaming for G2.
Yeah, cuz like at Worlds, I didn't think they were gonna get like first place in their group. Even for my predictions, I generally thought Suning was better, and then they played that really close game against Suning, and I was like, holy shit, this is still a really good
Yeah.
team. But I knew that they weren't gonna be as good in 2019 because usually teams that are that good for 1 year just aren't gonna be good the next year unless you're like SKT in the past. So moving on to like 2021, did you watch most of their games from this past split?
Uh, yeah, I think most of them.
Okay.
Like great amount of
How did you like the reckless change, or did you not like that at all?
like this year change.
Yeah,
Reckless.
when they changed out
Well,
perks for reckless.
yeah, yeah. Um, I guess it's all right. I wasn't watching Reckless that much,
Hmm.
because I never played AD carry.
Hmm.
I'm the jungle main.
Oh no.
Yeah, this crazy tryharding jungle.
Makes you want to lose your
So
brain, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, yep. I just knew that there is Reckless, there is Self-Made,
Hmm.
and I didn't watch them, but I knew that Reckless is really strong, really great as AD carry, so I thought that it might be a good change for them. I still think that Perks is very good, and I thought if he won't left G2, they would still be strong, but you know, NA Perks.
Like, I think that it's hard to really say because I think someone even asked me, they're like, why did they ever switch out Perks then? Because there's a combination of a lot of things you imagine. Like, Perks had been there since like 2016. He had been there most of his League of Legends career up until that point. And then they had just failed at Worlds again. Then you also have to factor in Carlos already told Caps that he was never gonna be replaced in mid lane anyway, And then Perks already shifted away from mid lane to bot lane. And then when Perks wanted to play mid again, Carlos already told Caps he's not gonna be having his position removed. So that creates a duality of like, well, Perks now, after 2 years of playing bot lane, wants to go back to mid. And I even told people in my videos back then too, I even said he's gonna want to go back to mid at some point if they don't win what they want to win, which is Worlds. He's gonna want to go back to mid because he gave up playing mid to have Caps play mid. And to be fair, he was an all right AD carry in 2019. He got better toward the end of the year. I still never thought he was better than players like Uzi or Teddy, but he did really well when he needed to play really well, and they were super flexible in 2019 too. But in 2020, you could kind of tell he just didn't really want to play the role anymore. Like, he definitely tried hard, but that's just not him. I remember watching Perks when he first came into the league, and I was like, he's not going to be an AD carry for long. Either he's going to go to another team, or they're going to have to switch out Caps. And, well, one of those scenarios happened.
Yeah.
But even G2 this year, like they still looked pretty strong in the regular season. It was only, just in playoffs where they started to fail because I think the one of the biggest reasons why they started failing was because of the games being back on stage again. Cuz like when most people started watching from like 2020, they only got like half of the stage games, remember?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they ended up going back to like an online format. And then when the teams that were able to play on stage, you saw a completely different atmosphere when playing on stage. You know, the players were taking less risks. Players were definitely, you could tell just by reading their lips on stage, like they weren't talking as much. There's just a lot of different variants when it comes to playing on stage that these teams from this year never got a chance to experience. So when G2 started failing in draft, they started not playing really well around the map. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, wow, the stage is really affecting them. Like, are they playing more reserved? Are they, is it like nerves that's like hurting them? Because, you know, what's going on here? And that's why, you know, I was still predicting for them to win even before the LEC 2021 spring split ended. But then again, you know, my heart got broken when they lost to Rogue. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Actually, you have a point. Yep, about the stage. That's true.
Cause
That's true.
Caps,
I still
cause you
think
notice
though.
like Caps was playing really bad, uncharacteristically. All these random mistakes. He would like TF ult into a bot lane that could like instantly perma CC him. I'm like, what are you doing? What?
There were some moments like this. So I still think that GT is strong. They can make the summer split if they are preparing hard. They are screaming a lot, as I've heard from Yankees' streams.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they will come back in summer with more synergy with Reckless. They will just come back stronger. I really believe in it.
Yeah, because like even Wonder, he said he uninstalled WoW after that series against Shaka. I'm just sitting here like,
Yeah,
what?
that's
Like
true.
what? Like, hey, I'd be like playing some games on the side when I'm playing League too. Like it happens, and I think that you know G2 have been so dominant for so long. Like people need to understand like this. In the EULCS era, G2 won 4 splits. In the LEC era, they've also won what 4, 5 splits. Yeah, they've won everything in 2019 and 2020. So they've won 4 different titles in 2 separate versions of EULCS and LEC. You know, they've been dominant for a very long time. The only year they didn't really win anything was with the Yarn and Wadid roster, well, which I still think to this day was their worst roster, quote unquote, because they didn't win anything. They pretty much only had that top 4 at Worlds and that massive upset against RNG back in Worlds 2018, you know. But other than that, G2's been dominant for so long, and it's nice that they get challenged. Like, even just with watching MSI 2021, it's nice to see. I love Cloud9 too. These are the only 2 teams I support, and I love Cloud9 too, but like, it's nice to see them getting exposed for a lot of their weaknesses, and this is gonna hopefully help them out. And that's why I kind of wanted G2 to go to MSI 2021 so they could get more exposure to newer teams, so they could get all of their mistakes exposed, because you're going to be playing up against better teams with much better macro decisions, much more better champions that they're going to want to draft for. And then obviously it's going to make you better because you're going to learn from those teams, because I really don't think they're going to be learning anything from like Rogue or Mad Lions. I just don't think so, because I think that this is a nice little wake-up call. But what could G2 possibly learn from scrimming against Rogue and Mad Lions? I don't really know, honestly. You know? Because,
Yeah,
like,
maybe I have a point in it. Yes. I think they got used to such teams as Rogue, Mad Lions, maybe. I still think them that month this year showed very great result. Like
mhm,
I'm cheering for them now because they are our U representatives and they are making a great job
mhm,
there. But yeah, you're right. Even if G2 qualifies to Worlds, there will be a lot of more teams um, they can swim with, they
mhm,
can take something new, learn something new from playing with
mhm,
them. So you have a point that if they went to MSI, they would play with such teams as Damwon, as the RNG,
mhm.
just to improve themselves too, like like this.
So one of the last few things I want to ask is, why are you a G2 fan? Why did you choose them of all of the other teams instead of a team like Fnatic?
So why G2?
Mhm,
I think G2 has this not only so I fell in love with G2 after watching some of their um content videos,
mhm,
I guess. And I was like, I wasn't watching the games that time. And then I got interested, like, who are these guys? Seem funny, they seem friendly. So I went, and from this time, I started watching some games. I watched also Fnatic, content videos, like everything else. But I felt like the G2 have the most friendly, have the,
Hmm.
I don't know why, but it's just like, um, they just stick to my heart. I don't know.
It was just
Um,
one of their personalities. Their personalities were just kind of fun, alluring, kind of like you could see yourself hanging out with these guys type of thing, right?
yeah, yeah, that's true. They are not like, they don't they don't look cocky to the fans.
Hmm.
Like, they communicate with them. They uh, like the fun arts. This like the thing I recognize too.
Because like
So that's my point.
one of their biggest things back, I think in like the last few years with the Perks roster when he was AD carry for them, people always claimed they were super cocky. I'm like, I never really saw it as cocky. I think there's just a lot of like insecure people online who don't have friends that don't really know how people act when they generally are around each other.
Yeah,
That's just how
that's
people
true.
act. Like, like when it comes to like League of Legends, since it's pretty much based in an online video game, like people need to realize this. Like things that you perceive as cocky are only perceived as cocky because you generally probably don't have friends. And I'm not saying
Yeah,
that to
that's
be
true.
mean. You don't have friends and you probably don't hang out with people enough to understand what cocky is. Like the reason
Yeah,
why they were probably talking shit on FPS because that's just fun to trash talk. Like I don't blame a player for trash. I still trash talk to this day. I can't stop flaming people on streams, in my own streams actually. I've turned into some like
really.
version of I will down. I'll flame my shoes if it really makes me happy.
Oh,
So I that
so
I never got. I never got that. Oh, they're trash talking. They're cocky. They need to be
yeah,
humbled.
that's same. Every team makes memes while trash talking to others, and the other team understands it, and they are making the same. So they are creating like the content to themselves, like the PGG made this year. They
Mhm.
were miming all the MSI
Oh my
great
god.
guys.
Remember the first tweet they put out when MSI first started this year in 2021? You're like, when does G2 play? I was like, what?
Oh, really?
Oh my god. And then yeah, that was the biggest thing I never understood there because people online were like, they need to humble themselves. I can't get behind G2 because they're too cocky. I'm like, I keep telling people, even if you think that
No.
way, they don't care. I'm being honest, they don't care. Like literally, they don't care what random person online thinks about them. And like, let's be honest here, they would still cheer for them anyway if that's from their own region. So that's generally how
Yeah,
that
for
goes
sure.
anyway. So you actually watched MSI 2021 so far with Mad Lions. Are you kind
Yep.
of satisfied with Mad Lions' performance
Yeah,
right now?
sure. Yeah, I think so. Yes, I'm really satisfied with the drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm satisfied with their early game.
Mm-hmm.
They were securing the bot lane. I love their bot lane. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, my English
Uh,
is not good, so I it takes me a lot of time to think.
No, you're fine. No worries. It was just because there was because when I stream generally because I generally stream my own like League of Legends podcast at like 6
Mhm.
p.m. PST on Tuesday. The European fans that would come in, they were like, "Well, I'm not really too sure about Mad Lions though. I'm kind of like unsure about them because with G2 and Fnatic, you have veteran players that have gotten international experience, so it's going to be a lot more
There's experience.
yeah,
Yes.
but I told them like let them go and get experience themselves. Like they won fair and square. They get to go, and then now you're gonna have potentially a much stronger team for Worlds. Like even if they bomb out, it shouldn't matter though because they're gonna get experience. So yeah, it's gonna suck. They would have did bad internationally, but that didn't happen. They performed very well. I think having that playing stage to fight against those wildcard teams was really good for them because you saw them like get leads, pretty much throw it like Cloud9 did in the Rumble stage, but instead of throwing it, they realized what their win conditions are and they play to that. And that's what I really liked about Mad Lions' playstyle is that they could get early game leads, but if they throw it, they know exactly how to win the game. And that's good, actually, that those are good things to have. Now, hopefully, at the time of recording this, might make finals. You never know. What if EU won MSI twice with two different teams? That'd be crazy, actually. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're getting past damn one. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
yeah.
Uh, but
But actually, that one is I'm watching them and their macro.
it's insane, right?
Yeah, every time they are together everywhere, you
Mhm.
see that they are like split, and in the other moment they are five together.
Mhm.
So I'm just wait, what?
Do you actually
How?
watch
How?
any of the regions outside of LEC? You watch like LCS, LPL, LCK?
I think I watched the playoffs of LCS
Mhm.
and a little bit of LCK. A little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, I would honestly, when it comes to Worlds, coming because Worlds 2021 is coming up later on during the year after summer's over, to get a better understanding. Because this is what I tell everyone. I would say watch all of the regions, but in terms of if you don't have enough time, only watch the playoffs. That's fine.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
get a general understanding of all the teams, but LPL is a lot. And like, I told people this: if you love League of Legends and you love talking about it competitively, you'll find time to watch all the regions. Though I'm not saying to just watch them every single day they come out. I've never said that.
yeah,
Take a day out. Watch some games, get an understanding, because like people spout so much bullshit when it comes to Worlds. Though narratives that don't even make sense at the time. They're like, "Well, this player's been the best in his." No, he's not. You could tell when someone doesn't know what they're talking about. Because remember, last year people were saying like G2 were gonna, smash the competition. That I was like, no, they're not. What is wrong with some of you people? People are crazy.
yeah. You're right. Yep, yep. So it's good for just a basic understanding of what
Yeah.
teams are going to be there. It's like really interesting, especially um, honestly. In September, I'm moving to other country to study,
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
yep, yep, and um, I'm going to apply there as a team analyst of LOL team analyst. So
Oh
they have
my
a
God.
team. So yep,
I'm
I think I
proud.
can start my path there.
Okay.
I I would really like to improve myself as the some coaching league and analyzing stuff,
You could be
like
like the
knowledge.
first female coach on stage giving Mad Lions orders at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could be there
Um,
drafting. You could draft for them in first rotation, Jana and fucking Jana and oh my god, I was gonna say the other champion,
oh,
Jana and
oh
Annie bot lane.
no.
Draft Jana and Annie first rotation, automatically get counterpicked and lose. Holy shit!
Oh, wait.
So I was gonna
Oh my.
ask, what do you do outside of this? Because you said you take exams, so I imagine are you gonna be getting more into just league stuff, or is it like artwork, or what else do you do outside of this?
Mm. I do coding, programming,
Coding
and
is so boring. How do you do coding? That is so boring. Holy
uh,
crap.
yeah, like I have to work
Hmm.
on this. Like it's my current work is like commissions from drawing
Hmm.
and programming.
Okay.
So it is still okay for me before my university studies
Hmm.
next year, and I think I will continue doing this the next year.
Hmm.
So I improve myself in programming just to because I'm going to study programming deeper next year. So
More
just
power
to
to you.
become
I couldn't do it. No.
well, I couldn't do it too, but it took me really long time to get used to it, just to just to get used. It really
Okay.
was work.
It's just one of those things where like I tried to do it a little bit and then you mess up one thing, you have to start all over, and it's just it tore my brain apart.
True. Sometimes it was easier to just learn other or some new language of coding
Mhm.
just to then understand the previous one you were learning. Yeah, that's true.
So when it comes to what you want to do with the LOL team that you said is gonna happen, you're gonna be like an analyst. So what do you hope that happens? That comes out of this actually.
Honestly, I still can't imagine because like
Hmm.
if I'll succeed in being an analyst
Hmm.
to be good at data analyzing from the current team I'm in or the opponent teams. maybe I can start doing like the coaching of teams, and maybe it can work. Maybe
If you were
always.
ever on stage, I'm gonna just type in the YouTube or Twitch, hey, I know this person.
Oh, it would be great.
It's do
But
that
I
do that
think
that fan thing on Twitter. I'm her number one fan.
thank you. Well,
And if you
it would
suck
be
in
really
draft, you start crying. You put the other face on that you're happy. Oh my god.
nice.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Would you ever want it to be like a broadcast personality in the future?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Um,
You never know.
I think I want to connect my life with the math, with the analysis, with
Mhm.
some maybe coaching. I don't
So
know.
you'd be like
It's just
something
I
like
spend my
Jad,
life in
right? You'd be someone like
what?
Jad.
Of like whom?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. He was before your time in league. So you'd be more of a person. Who's the most analytical person on the LEC desk? Wouldn't it be like Vedius? You'd be like a person like Vedius. You're more based in like stats and analytical information though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Cause for league it's really different when it comes to stats though. Cause do you follow like traditional sports in your country? Because I know you guys have traditional sports over there too. You know.
Yep, yep.
So, when it comes to traditional sports, most of what you see in stats is generally pretty true. When it comes to league and stats, I don't really use them in my arguments because they don't really kind of come up. Because when a person who's talking about like this stuff competitive league that we're talking about, they're bringing up like jungle proximity. Well, this person has a lot of jungle proximity. Well, if you have an early game jungler, then yeah, he's gonna have a lot of early game proximity because you have to gank a lot. That's literally par
Yeah,
for the course. You moron. And if someone
yeah,
says,
that's
well,
true.
and if someone's like, well, this top laner had a lot of jungle proximity at like 15 minutes in. Yes, because he needs to be up there to defend that lane. Otherwise, he's gonna get shoved in. That's so sometimes people like miscue stats for like things that a player could be doing that could be perceived as good when it's just par for the course of what that champion is. Like I actually, yeah, they brought, remember in MSI this year, 2020, remember how they had that stat when Cloud9 was playing up against RNG, and they had the all-time stats of like, it's, well, at that moment in time, it was like 7-7 between NA and LPL, right? Now, anybody
Okay.
watching that will go like, okay, so it's been really, really close between them. No, no, it's
No,
not
it
been
wasn't.
close. But the record would be like, okay, they went 7-7 against each other. Like back in 2017, for EU and NA's best of one record against each other, I remember it was like 22 to like 23. But you're thinking to yourself like, okay, that's been pretty close, right? Maybe
No.
some years, give or take, because in 2016, EU never beat NA once. I remember EU fans going nuts. They got 6-0'd all year. That was crazy. Oh my god, back in the day, and it was like a wild wild west in the scene. Holy shit.
No.
Or you could create your own YouTube channel and you could have your own like Lena stats day or Kostanina stats.
Oh, come on. Maybe.
Mad Lions, and this is how they won MSI 2021. Break down all the images of like Carzy and him just standing on his desk like he's
Maybe.
pregnant. Remember there was a picture of Carzy when he was like putting his legs on his desk like he was pregnant. Oh my god, dude.
God, really?
um. So, do you actually like the LEC broadcast? Actually,
Yep, yep,
mm-hmm.
yep.
Do you think they need
It's
to improve it?
alright.
Anything actually? Because I think they've gotten way better over the years. Actually, it's been way different when I first started watching them.
Honestly, I've been watching. I started watching an uh, LSC casters only this year because I was watching them like
Mm-hmm.
in Russian translation, like the
Okay.
uh, LCL casters were just translating and giving their analysis of every LEC game. So I was watching them.
Okay.
And only this year I started watching the LEC casters themselves.
Okay. I forgot. Do you guys have an EU Masters scene for? Because I know France does, and I know the other regions do. Is Russia a part of like the EU Masters scene too?
I don't know about Russia, but Ukraine is not.
Okay.
And I think Russia is not too.
Yeah, because everyone's always talking about EU Masters, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I mean, I don't know. It's one of these things where I think people. It's fine to have a huge development system, right? But I
Yeah.
think people are going like so far into it to try to find like the next best player. That's gotta build time. That's just with
Yeah,
anything, because
that's true.
some people like I feel like a lot of the teams in the LEC are all just based in trying to find like the next biggest prodigy, which is fine. It's fine to pick out new players, put them into the scene, and see how they work. But when you're looking at a team like Excel Esports, they just took Checolad, and like he's literally not playing on the roster because they're gonna play Nuke Duck in the LEC 2021 summer split. You know,
I
it
saw it. Yeah.
yeah, it just goes to show people that just because they're a rookie doesn't mean they're automatically going to be better than the players you have in the league at that moment in time. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of these like never-ending things of like, okay, you want to give players. I genuinely believe, even outside of like money, they want to give new players a shot. But the problem here with that is if you're not really getting anything out of it, like when you're factoring in like, okay, this player has to be better than one I'm replacing them, because that's what people don't understand is if you're trying to replace a player and he's not better than the person you're replacing, even if he's a rookie, it doesn't really make any sense though, because someone would say, oh well, they're new and they're going to provide a new voice to the team. That means like that's like hindsight stuff you cannot predict for. You know, it's like that one person in the movie that goes, I knew all this would happen. You probably didn't. It just panned out that way.
Yeah. I didn't actually understand this removing of the chocolate and taking the nuke duck.
The year of the duck, it'll happen. The year of the duck, it'll happen. Just we gotta believe, you know.
Yeah.
It was one of the things where, like, even with Excel, because I know a lot of people were flaming them. I mean, truly, we don't know what happened. You know, maybe something happened where they were like, okay, we gotta remove these guys right now. Team dynamic, maybe. But I don't understand the reason to bring in someone just to replace them after a split. But maybe they thought the team synergy was worse for the guy. We'll never know. Because, like, people on Twitter will just start flaming them, and it's like, none of us know, though. Like, none of us know, you know, what happens, you know? And then later on, years down the road, we'll just probably get told some fucked up story that's PR, and, like, you know, that's just how it generally
Yeah.
works with the scene anyway. Because, like, most people that have problems in team environments, stories always come out, but they're always told from one person's perspective, and it's only told from that person not really trying to say the full story because they don't want to drag down people into the bus. You know how that stuff works generally. But anything else you wanted to say before we close out of this? I think that was pretty good, actually. We had a pretty good conversation. It was
Yeah,
very
that's
nice
true.
meeting you.
I'm really amazed how much knowledge do you have about the league?
Oh
Like,
yeah, because when you
it's
said you started in
insane, honestly.
2014, when you said you started in 2014, that's the year I started. I started in October of that year, so I've been watching League ever since
Oh, 2014.
2014. Yeah, it's been a very very long time. A love hate relationship with
Yeah,
this fucking game.
yeah, that's true. And I wanted to ask, what do you think about the Fnatic new roster? They
Oh
moved Vipo to the jungle, right?
yeah, shit. It's one of these things where because I talked about I talked about this on the channel actually. So, how did you? Okay, so I would have to answer it this way to ask this way. What did
Mhm.
you think about Fnatic's roster when you saw them playing this year? Just this year alone, this past LEC 2021 spring split.
Brinkley.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I don't remember that much, but uh,
Did you think like
I don't know.
when you watched them, did you really feel like they were playing like a team?
Mm, Honestly, maybe something was wrong with the synergy of them inside of the team, maybe. So,
Mhm.
the upset was new there, right?
Yeah.
The upset. So, there was always the moment I remember about the bot lane, which sometimes failed.
Hmm.
Some some dives there which were failing.
Okay. Okay. She's
Yeah.
being nice. She's like them shits was trash. So my thing was okay. So generally, from for me, like player by player, I think Hillsang looked really bad. I think he's always been one of the LEC's best supports, but this year in particular, he looked pretty bad. Players like Kaiser, Treats, Limit, all looked better than him, you know? And then you had like Mickey X, who arguably still looked better. Upset, I think, played fine. I think Upset really did feel the shoes of Reckless from this past play. I think he played absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
Reckless was like Upset was good. Yeah,
Upset was really
Upset
good,
was
actually. I don't get people like he was worse. What games are you watching, you crackhead? What? Go fucking watch. I don't know, competitive Heroes of the Storm or some bullshit. Get out of. Don't watch League anymore. Upset played fine to me. Niski came from Cloud9. I think Niski wasn't really their issue though. Niski, he's not a player that if you buy Niski, like it's one of these things where he's not a player like Caps, Larson, Humanoid, players like that, right? Or even Abadage. Like, could you see yourself winning a championship with Niski in LEC? In LCS, he won a championship because he's going to look better by comparison. And I don't think Niski's a bad player. I've actually met Niski before, back when he was here in NA. Yeah, I went to the LCS before. I met Niski before, yeah. He's a great guy. I think he's a good player, but the issue here is, like, when you're buying Niski, you know, win a championship with this guy, at least in the LEC, because Niski was in the LEC before. People need to remember this. He was on Splice, which are now Mad Lions, though. He was on a lot of other teams, too, like Fnatic in the past. He was on, Splice, Fnatic, Misfits, Team Envious, Cloud9. And then you have Selfmade. And I thought Selfmade and Niski were going to be an incredible duo. That's why I had Fnatic as my second place team for the LEC 2021 spring split. But then you also had Bwipo, and Bwipo, you know, there was that Crackdown episode, people you probably know about, where he talked about how he had all of these issues with Selfmade. So I'm thinking to myself, when there's all these rumors out there about, you know, Selfmade going to join Team Vitality and Bwipo moving to jungle, I could have already saw that coming based on how he talked about Selfmade in that deleted Crackdown podcast episode, you know, on I Will Dominate's channel, because there's no way you talk about someone like that and you're okay with them. Like, I don't know, people know how to read between the lines of people. Like, you probably have, like, you know, females you don't have, you have, like, issues with in your personal life, right? And when someone brings them up, you're like, oh, I don't really talk to her too much, you know, but, you know, like, I fucking hate this bitch's guts, you know? So, it's one of these things where I think the team had no synergy. I think they literally agreed to just completely play League of Legends together. In terms of macro and gameplay, I think they were like, we can't do this together. You know, their gameplay was bad, the drafting was off, their macro decisions were horrible. I think Bwipo going to jungle is that thing where, because you know, on solo queue, people see someone failing in a role and then switch to it just because that person keeps failing in it. Because that was for me. You know, when I was a support main, I saw my top laners always fucking failing, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to top lane and do it myself. Then I saw my ADCs failing, so I chose between playing top and ADC. So, Bwipo being jungle, he probably genuinely thinks he can do it better. I have to solely disagree with people. I don't think he can. I think Selfmade is legitimately a better player, and a better jungler, too. Like, people always bring up attitude. I don't care about no attitude. I just don't think Bwipo is gonna be a better jungler than Selfmade. But if he facilitates the team better, that's gonna probably bring in better results, though. It's probably a new refresher. It's gonna be something new and interesting to, you know, dive into. Other than that, if he's not immediately better, it's fine, but in the long run, if he's better, it's okay, but it's like, he's probably just running out his contract, because, you know, he didn't extend his contract, so testing out the free market in the offseason could be a thing. You know, do you think it could work out with Bwipo being in the jungle? Because I genuinely don't think it'll really give them any big results, honestly.
I can't judge, and honestly, I think we will see what happens there. It's really interesting to watch, honestly. I'm really looking forward this summer split to watch all the new rosters and to watch the G2 win the summer split.
If G2 don't win the summer split, I'm gonna have to get on a skyscraper and jump. Cause
Oh.
like, how are you losing these?
Do this.
Like with Selfmade and Leader on Vitality, if it actually pans out to be true, because it got like confirmed. Oh, see, Vitality's gonna be a lot more scary of a team. Selfmade, Leader, and Crown Shot, Labrov. Labrov kind of sucks, but nice trio of players right there. But in terms of Fnatic, and because they're gonna probably have Adam, that new player, like, it's one of these things, you just take a gamble. Like, League is always about taking a gamble, and I could always respect, you know, if something is not working, there's no reason to obviously keep it going. You might as well just switch it up, because if they had kept the same roster and you're facing some like breaking point situation, it wasn't gonna be worth it though. And Selfmade didn't extend his contract; he wanted to leave anyway. And then yesterday on Twitter, Fnatic tweeted, they're like, "What's your favorite player in Fnatic of all time?" He said, "Reckless." God.
Yep.
God, man.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I don't care if people say, "Oh, I don't like his attitude." That's because you're insecure and you don't have friends. Like, what? Always, like, do you know what? I hate it when people in the League community do that. They try to deconstruct a pro player's personality to fit their personality. It's like, no. Like, no. That they're going to be a zombie. I want the person being, like, fake or some zombie. You know what I mean? Like, I want the person to be themselves. If that person's a flaming asshole, then be a flaming asshole then, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just me. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we head out of here?
I don't know. I think I don't have any questions now.
No? Okay. That was great. Actually, what's that? That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, you do artwork too. Okay. So we covered everything. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. This has been great. Can't wait to do this again in the future. Obviously, when you become a team analyst, you can give me all of the juicy rumors. In the off season. She's secretly joining Mid Misfit so she can be around Officio and she can give me all the team secrets right there. All the juicy off-season rumors so I could break the stories first and then I can get like 10,000 views on a video.
Okay. Okay.
Or you can join
Really
Fnatic. They're
great
always
pleasure.
Fnatic are always hiring. You can be a team analyst for Fnatic and be around Whipple Jungle and watch him pick like Pantheon Jungle and die of level 2 and fail and he's gonna get killed and the whole game is over.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Alright guys, I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all enjoy. I'm the Nightwing and Way of Life Esports is signing out. See you guys later. Peace. Goodbye.